Your eyes open and you get smacked in the face by some ice. That was also made of rock. You've been alive literally 2 seconds, and already you're being beaten up. I think you should get used to that because it's a sign of what's to come. You see a faint light in the distance. You look closer. Is that a star? It holds up a sign. I am the sun. Welcome to the solar system. You wouldn't respond with your name, but you aren't anything yet. Because, oh, by the way, you're nothing but a piece of rock surrounded by some frozen gas. Basically the same stuff that woke you up. Exciting! Wait, what are those large lumps of gas doing over there? Oh, that's Jupiter and Saturn, and they're flinging more ice and rock towards you. They're the ones that woke you up with this great surprise in the first place, and it seems like they're your personal bullies. And it doesn't end there because you suddenly start attracting more and more of, well, yourself. Before you know it, you're packed together in a lumpy little ball. You feel empowered. Well done. You're now a baby planet. You decide to call yourself Pluto. You feel proud. However, you're small, cold, and not particularly impressive, so maybe you shouldn't. As you keep collecting more ice rocks, you smooth that into a nice round shape. Mostly. This sounds great, but you're forming really far from the sun, 6 billion kilometers far. In fact, you live in a place called the Kuiper Belt, and if there were a highway back to the sun, it would take you 6,800 years to get there, like waking up really hungry and having to wait for your toast, and then you burn it. Over time, though, everything's settled down. You get a nice atmosphere of nitrogen and methane, which makes your sky a cool, hazy blue. Nice. You've also got mountains made of ice and a whole bunch of weird surface features that no one quite understands. But it looks good, and all you know is that Saturn and Jupiter stole all the remaining real gas, and you're made of rock and frozen gas leftovers. That's because it's absolutely freezing out here, since you're 39 times farther out from the sun than the Earth is. Oh, and you've already been alive a couple 100 million years while you were, processing your existence. But now that you do exist, and you are aware of it, what exactly is your purpose? It seems like you're simply stuck in the freezer storage of the solar system, while all the other planets get to be alive and surrounded by their own kind. You notice that you aren't even big enough to clear a space around you so you can exist in peace, and from here, it looks like you're surely about the same size as the other planets. So how come they get to push all that rubble away, and you have to live in this While you sit with that depressing thought, you're probably thinking, well, I should go visit the other planets to show them that I'm a solar system member, not just some rock at the back. You decide to take this journey. Thankfully, you have a permanent companion called Karam. You ask him if he's ready for this over 2-century journey. No blue angles. Well, great. You begin to move, but suddenly realize that you aren't exactly moving like the other planets, and that seems a little... Wait, why are you moving away from the sun? Turns out your orbit is wonky, very wonky. The gas planets, the metal and rock planets close to the sun, yeah, they have normal orbits. Not yours, though. So in order to make this trip, you better get used to your surroundings, because it also takes 248 years to go around. Simply lovely. Well, as you have time, you might as well see how you look. You have that 1,000-kilometer-wide heart-shaped basin filled with frozen geysers. You have that 1,000-kilometer-wide heart-shaped basin with frozen gas. It's basically a giant ice cream scoop of space flavors. Not bad. Oh, you've also got a little color now. The sun's limited heat zaps your surface and turns some of it into a reddish-brown goo. So basically you've got a spray tan. Too bad there's no planets close enough to see it. You also have an atmosphere, but don't get too excited about this one. As you move away from the sun, up to 49 times further than the Earth is, it freezes and collapses like poison snow on your face for 100 years. It's basically a blanket made of your own breath. And just as you thought it couldn't get any worse, another bully shows up, and this time it's Neptune. He looks back at you with his dim, blank face of mediocrity, frowns, and throws more rock and ice at you. Why? Because he could. Turns out he claims ownership of this region of space. Fortunately, the scars that this attack left on your surface clear up. Wow, turns out you are an active world that can fix its surface, unlike the other non-planets around you. This could mean you're actually a planet deserving of being close to the sun. With this knowledge, you carry on your journey in determination to show the solar system just how interesting and amazing you are as a planet. The years go by quickly, and as you get closer and closer to the sun, no matter how hard you try, you just cannot get closer than this. But it is close enough for the planets to just about see you, and you to see them. Your atmosphere raises off your face as it heats up, but you suddenly realize something.
all the other planets are huge. When you were born, they all look to be the same size as you, but even Mercury makes you look tiny. They point and laugh. The humans on Earth get together and decide that you're just a dwarf planet. No vote, no appeal, just exile. Turns out all the planets are active worlds. Even the Earth's moon is larger than you, and they can clear the area around them of bison rock. And as you remember, you cannot. And even that country on Earth, called USA, yeah, it's 2 times wider than you. You try to argue your case. Look at me, I'm round, I orbit the sun, I've even got moons. But Jupiter just laughs and shows off his impressive Great Red Spot, the biggest storm in the solar system. "That's cute," he rumbles. "Call me when you've got 95 moons and can fit 1,300 Earths inside you." You'd think that's a little weird to say out loud, but turns out you're the weird one. You actually rotate on your side, like Uranus, but slower, way slower. A single day for you lasts 153 hours. That means if you had a Monday, it would last 6 Earth days. Yikes. So then what's the point of living through that many Mondays forever? Are there any other dwarf planets like you? You look around, and turns out, yes, 5 of them. Well, including you. 1 is buddies with Jupiter, like a pet, and 4 of them are here in the Kuiper Belt. But only 1 is like you. Eris, similar in size, also has a moon. Finally, a friend. Oh, there she goes. Her orbit is even more ridiculous and extreme than yours, and you'll only see her once every 557 years. That's right. By the time she swings back around, entire civilizations on Earth will have risen and fallen, and you barely got to say hi. So much for that friendship. And now you're back to drifting alone in the Kuiper Belt, moving away from the sun, surrounded by an endless expanse of icy debris, a rejected, demoted planet in exile. Your atmosphere falls on your face again. You're about to take a depressive nap, but you hear a noise. Maybe it's an alien civilization that has come to colonize you and realizes how great... Oh, it's the humans. They've sent a probe to take photos, like you're some kind of cat on TikTok that just learned how to use the toilet. You wish they would just go away and leave you alone out here, where it's so frigid that methane freezes solid. You regret that thought because it makes you realize you're alone in a world where goat farts turn into ice. Fantastic. It's now been 10 billion years since birth. You've come to terms with your depressing life and repetitive routine. But then something changes. After all this time, the sun starts to swell. At first, it's slow. You don't even notice it. But over millions of years, it grows larger and brighter, its yellow glow deepening into a menacing red. Then, something you thought impossible actually happens. You begin to feel warm. Your surface, once a frozen wasteland of like -225 degrees, starts to thaw.